Collegiate gymnasts, it all comes down to this. The years of practice, of sweat, of sacrifice all culminate in one single event. The 6 best teams in the nation are in Alabama to crown a national champion. Springtime in Tuscaloosa, where the hottest ticket in town takes you inside Coleman Coliseum on the campus of the University of Alabama. Today, over 10,000 Crimson Tide faithful have gathered for what they're calling the main event. Behind the scenes, the tension is mounting. This is the 1996 NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship. Hello, everyone. I'm Andrea Joyce. Thanks for joining us. We have watched the big three, Utah, Alabama, and Georgia, for years now completely dominate women's gymnastics. In fact, they have won every single title since the NCAA championships began back in 1982. This year, all signs point to Alabama, the top seed with the enviable home court advantage. And here now to help us call the action, Olympic gold medalist Julianne McNamara. And Julianne, it really does seem that this is a perfect scenario for Alabama to win its 3rd national title.
Well, the last time Alabama won this national title was in 1991 when it was here. So don't count out the home court advantage and the emotional support the crowd gives to a gymnast. They're also led by 2 great stars. Kim Kelly, a senior All-American, has been a member of this team the past 3 years when they finished 2nd. So she's very hungry for a championship. And junior Meredith Willard, who has tied or bettered her career high scores on each apparatus this year. She has really blossomed into a great gymnast and performer at the college level.
Also included in the Super 6 group of competitors, Utah, the 2-time defending national champion, Georgia, the only team to defeat Alabama this season, Michigan, UCLA, and Oregon State. So who gives Alabama the biggest challenge?
Well, this competition is wide open. There's more parity in women's collegiate gymnastics than ever before. But if I had to pick a dark horse, I'd say UCLA. They have a great draw. They're competing on the preferable Olympic order, which means they'll end up on the floor exercise, which is one of their team's strongest events. And they have a spectacular performer in Stella Ume, a former Canadian Olympian and the co-defending national champion on floor exercise. They should end with a bang.
Well, the gymnasts compete in 4 events: the vault, the uneven parallel bars, the balance beam, and the floor exercise. 6 women compete per event, with the top 5 scores counting toward the overall team title. And in the first rotation, it's Michigan on the vault, Alabama on bars, Georgia on beam, and Oregon State on floor exercise. UCLA and Utah have first-round byes. As the Crimson Tide revs up the crowd, Kim Kelly will start us off on bars. Kelly, a 22-year-old senior from King of Prussia, Pennsylvania.
Watch this. She tumbles onto the board and flips over the low bar. She continues with a giant sequence. Full twisting. Watch her hand changes. Now she'll do a decacha, but do it facing the low bar. Oh, that's a half-a-point deduction. And now, Andrew, she has 30 seconds to remount the apparatus before she would get another deduction.
We are already seeing some early meet jitters, perhaps. And as Kelly gets back up on the bars, we're going to head over to the floor. Here's Amanda Turco performing for Oregon State. A reminder, there are 4 events going on simultaneously here at Coleman Coliseum. The music you hear is always for the floor exercise.
Setting up here for a tumbling run. She'll do bounding fronts. First one with a 1.5 twist right into a front with a half twist.
Oregon State making their 10th consecutive trip to the NCAA championship. Came in 6th last year. Nice job by Amanda Turco. She gets a congratulatory hug from her teammates. And meantime, Kim Kelly being consoled after her bars routine. A rocky start for Alabama as Kelly scores just a 9.30. Amanda Turco, with her pleased coach Jim Turpin, scores a 9.850 on the floor. And while that has been going on, Georgia senior Lori Strong has already started her beam routine.
And this is an event where I think Lori's experience, she's a two-time Olympian for Canada, really pays off for her. Here's her big move. Two back handsprings to a layout backflip. Great job. And remember, not every routine starts from a 10-0. You have to have elements of difficulty, which Lori Strong just showed in that tumbling sequence. You have to have certain requirements, dance movements, and originality.
Lori Strong won the beam title at the SEC Championship.
The thing that's great about collegiate gymnastics today is most of the routines you see will be valued at a 10.0, which shows the increase of difficulty. There's a nice high top double back, just a little step on the landing.
An impressive routine by Lori Strong. Georgia has had trouble on the beam in the past, but they have come through beautifully here in the first rotation, and it's not an easy event to start on. And Lori Strong scores a 9.90 to get the Gym Dogs off to a good start, and Georgia could be breathing a sigh of relief on this start. Over to the vault now. Here's Wendy Marshall of Michigan. She has scored 6 perfect 10s on vault in her career. This is her second vault.
And talk about a spunky performer. Watch the explosion. She gets off of the horse. A nice high tight front, just a tiny little step on the landing.
The gymnasts do get 2 vaults. They count the score of the highest one. And Wendy Marshall gets a great score on her second vault, a 9.90. Well, the pressure is on Stephanie Woods now on the bars. Since Kim Kelly fell earlier, all the other Alabama gymnasts must hit their routines in this rotation.
And she is the anchor for the bars and the beam for this team. There's a nice stalwart hop right into a front giant. She's a beautiful gymnast. Look at the long lines, the perfect form. Here's another one of those stalwart moves. Setting up for a pike double back dismount and a great landing.
Coach Sarah Patterson calls her the Rock, and Stephanie Woods just showed you why.
Well, this performance was crucial because they didn't want to have to count the fall of Kim Kelly. She had to nail this routine or they'd be out of the competition from the beginning. And she really, look at the landing on this dismount.
So Stephanie Woods pulls through with a 9.95 to help Alabama take a slim lead over Georgia, followed by Michigan and Oregon State. Meantime, 2-time defending champion Utah steps up when we return.
Is sponsored by Old Spice Deodorant. For long-lasting odor protection, now you've got proof, not promises. And by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
University of Utah has been the powerhouse in women's gymnastics. The Utes have won 9 NCAA titles, produced 169 All-Americas, and have averaged more fans at their home meets than any other women's team in NCAA history. The force behind this success, head coach Greg Marsden, who commands respect from his peers.
There's no one better than Greg Marsden. He's a card player. I mean, you know, he has weaker cards, but he knows how to play his cards and win. And even when we have the better cards, you know, we seem to drop them all the time. And he's a master.
Well, for now, the master is taking a back seat. That's his custom when it comes time for the beam. Wife and assistant coach Megan takes over the coaching reins here.